Good evening, everyone. Time for this week's silver update. This is the 8-hour chart provided by netdania.com. See the link below. And I've got a number of trend lines drawn here. The major trend line, of course, is going to be this descending trend line that is formed from the May SmackDown peak of near $50 and then the September SmackDown peak of around $44, and then we've got some recent prices we set here. So we're trying to get out of this descending pennant formation. It looked like we had broken out, and then today we've fallen back fairly hard. I haven't been following the news that closely today because I've been spending so much time on my blog, so I'm not really sure what the given reason is, but I think it has something to do with the EU. Perhaps Germany getting cold feet about joining into the hyperinflationary world model, which is now pretty much got everybody on board. So they're going to print their way out of this mess. If you remember back in the dot-com bubble days, back then they had Jimmy Rogers on the CNBC being interviewed by one of the commentators, and they were, of course, very, very bullish on the NASDAQ, which was nearing 5,000 or so at that point. And they said, do you think this is a bubble? It's going to crash? And Rogers said, of course it's a bubble. Of course it's going to crash. He said, do you think that everybody, if this were true and this wasn't a bubble, then everybody could just invest in the stock market and everyone could retire and no one would have to work? Well, obviously that's not the case. So same thing with this money printing. If printing money were a solution, then obviously all the governments of the world could just print money and everybody could relax and sit back and have a great rest and watch some TV, and everybody would have a wonderful life because they just spend printed money and no one would have to work. So that's, on the face of it, patently stupid, and we all know that printing money is no solution to anything. But of course that is the answer that we get from the central banks of the world and the governments and the elected or unelected representatives, mostly corrupted politicians and banksters and crooks. But that's the answer that we get, is printed money. So they have managed to smack down silver a little bit out of this flag that we're forming, pennant we're forming, and it's not going to be long-lived, I don't think. So, of course, whenever we get a price drop, I always want to stay positive and get to the main point, which is stacking physical silver. So I did a summary today, and the reason why I did this summary, let's jump over to it. The reason why I did this summary is that there's a lot of new listeners to my channel, a lot of new viewers, and the question always comes up. This topic was brought up by my lovely wife, better known as Silver Tried 7 Times, and she was answering one of the questions about this. I think someone had asked her about buying a 100-ounce bar, and of course my answer, and we agreed the answer is that no, of course not. And so I wanted to go over the reasons of why you buy what you buy, and why I've always been a proponent, and what I've always done myself. I'm not going to recommend that you do anything that I don't do. This is what I've always done myself, and that's purchased numismatic silver 1-ounce coins. Now I'm going to give the reasons. I'm going to go over them. I know I've done this in videos before, but there's a lot of new people, so bear with me. I've gathered the numismatic top 5, but I wanted to go over the reasons so that you understand them. When you sell your silver, I think probably if you sell your silver for under $1,000, then you're getting ripped off, because I firmly believe that silver is at least going into the 4 digits. Now, that might not be dollars. There might be another currency that replaces dollars. It might be that the dollar collapses and another currency replaces it, but it will be the equivalent of $1,000. So what's that equivalent? I don't know. A roll of Silver Eagles buys you a new car. Do your own comparisons, do your own inflation adjustments, do your own cost of living types of things, but that's a rough estimate. You want to imagine silver being $1,000 an ounce. Here's the reason why. Because I think it's going to get there, and when it is, you're going to need to think about selling your silver. Now, with silver at $1,000 an ounce, there's not a real good chance of unloading a 100-ounce bar. It's going to be $100,000, and I'm not talking, these comments come all the time, I'm not talking inflation-adjusted dollars. I'm not talking hyperinflation. I'm talking about just a normal economy when the silver manipulation finally hits the wall and silver is truly valued at its real value. Yes, I believe its real value is over $1,000 an ounce. So I'm not talking about hyperinflation, because we get these comments all the time. Well, yeah, but a loaf of bread's $150. No, I'm not talking about that. A loaf of bread is still going to be $2 or $3 or $4, and the price of silver will be over $1,000. So let's make that clear. So we're imagining that silver is at $1,000 an ounce. Now, what do you want to have if you're going to sell? You don't want to have 100-ounce bars. You don't want to have 10-ounce bars. You don't even really want to have any bars, because people aren't going to know what they are. That's the big deal. And that's the second issue, counterfeiting risk. Counterfeiting is going to become a risk. It is not now because silver is so low. But in the future, when silver is really, really high in price, counterfeiting will become a risk. For those of you that were around in the 70s, in 1979 and 1980, when silver was approaching $50, counterfeiting was a big risk. There was a lot of counterfeiting going on. So counterfeiting will be a risk. The reason why, and that is going to be with these factors that we deal with below, the reason why you want these coins. And these are ways of defeating counterfeiting. These are actually ways of defeating all these things. The next one is short-term price stability. Now, these coins, these numismatic, now don't get me wrong when I say numismatic, I don't mean when I say numismatic that there is an added premium that you have to pay to get the coin. That's a big scam that's covered by a lot of people. A lot of people have done exposés on it. Eric Cedarstrom of Patriot Radio NewsHour and Joe Jankwint, they have talked about it all the time. The other silver and gold dealers who do numismatic scams, and they'll sell some ounce of silver coin for $4,000. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something that is priced just a little bit above the spot price, but in the future will have numismatic value. These are the deals you're looking for. So when I talk about numismatics, I'm not talking about current premium. I'm talking about potential future premium. So that potential future premium, we find out, creates short-term price stability. And that's because either they're so beautiful, so rare, or other reasons, so recognizable, that they immediately get a premium on them as soon as you get them from the mint. There's going to be something I'm going to cover down here, and you'll see these factors with the different coins, but that's a big factor with some of these national mint rare beautiful issues. They can initially go for a small premium above silver, but immediately that's going to shoot up in value because of all these other factors. The last one is recognizability. That's going to be very important. People are not going to want to buy something or barter with something or do anything. They're not going to want to touch it if it's not recognizable. They need to know what it is. Now, of course, there probably will be counterfeit silver in the future. You're probably going to have fish testers for a lot of these things. There's a ring test. There's other tests you can do. But for the most part, when we're not at that stage yet, you want to go with recognizability. That's a big factor because people are not going to want to buy something that they don't know what it is. Now, these factors that go into these things are beauty, rarity, and premium. Now, when I say beauty, I'm just talking about the natural beauty of the design of the coin. That's very important. You'll find that prices are established even if the coin is not that rare. you'll find that if it's a very beautiful coin, it will still have a very good premium on it. Rarity, of course, is extremely important in numismatics. Coin collectors and others always want to get the very low mint issues early so they can get that price appreciation, and I'm going to cover that on some of the coins below. And premium, of course, the premium you're looking for is the lowest premium that you can find, especially in a coin that's what you perceive to be a future numismatic buy. In other words, a coin that is cheap now. If you remember, I just recently purchased a number of the Somali African elephants. It's not covered in this top 5, but I consider that to be a beautiful coin, and it has an immediate $10 or $15 premium if you're going to go by eBay. I know a lot of people put that down, but remember, that's real money that real people are paying for real silver. So that is an important factor. But so I didn't include that African Somali coin in this update, but that's a coin that I really like. So let's get down to the coins, and most of these coins are coins that I have. You'll see on the last one. I'll explain that. The number one that I put on this list is going to be the 2010 Perth Lunar Series 2 Tiger. And the reason why is because it is a top beauty. It is a beautiful coin. As soon as I saw this coin came out, I didn't really like the Lunar Series 1, actually, which came out first. That's also a Tiger. I actually like the Lunar Series 2. Actually, I was wrong because the Lunar Series 1 is going for over $100. But this coin generally goes for $85 on a regular basis, and you can't get them at APMEX. I think they're over $100. So this is a top beauty. This coin is, you can see, the design on this coin is absolutely spectacular. Now, there's other reasons that I've chosen this coin. There's a lot of deep conspiracy, spiritual, biblical reasons, etc., because of the year of the tiger, the rise of Asia, the rise of the leopard, and all the stuff I'm not going to go into right now. But this coin, in my opinion, is absolutely the tops. I wish I had purchased every single coin that the Perth Mint issued of this coin, because there's just not enough I can say about this coin. It is fantastic. Now, number 2 on the list is the Perth Mint Koala. That is the 2007 issue, and it's going currently for $90 on a regular basis. I think you can pick up a couple maybe at APMEX for over $100, but it's an extremely rare issue. It's the first issue of the Koala series. I'm fortunate enough to have a number of them, not a lot of them. I have a number of them, and I purchased them fairly cheaply off of APMEX. I think I paid, just so you get an idea, at the time I think I paid maybe $4 over spot for this coin, and that was back, well, you can figure it out, that was back at that time. So it was pretty good premium at that time. But this is the 2007 Koala. A lot of people won't think this is the most beautiful coin, but I think it's a very beautiful coin artistically, especially the background, but also the rarity of this coin is just unbelievable. So it's an extremely rare coin, and it's extremely valuable. The next on the list is the Silver Eagle. Now, the reason I put this on the list is because it is, the recognizability cannot be matched. There is no coin in the world that matches the recognizability of the Silver Eagle. It is probably, I don't know what the numbers are, but it's probably the most popular coin in existence, and there's probably, I would guess, probably 10 times more Silver Eagles in existence than any other silver coin out there. And of course, the price. You can get this for $35 right now as we're sitting here today, which is an incredible price. So that's APMEX, Gainesville, etc. So, and also a very beautiful coin as well. It's just that I purchased them for so long, I kind of almost got sick of them because they never change. They're always the same. So I've been buying them since, I don't know, late 90s or something like that. So they never change. You kind of get sick of them, but it really is, you have to admit, it's really a beautiful coin. So number 3 is the Silver Eagle. Number 4 is going to be the New Zealand Fiji Taku, and you can still get this. You can still go to Gainesville and pick up this coin. I've purchased, not a lot, but a number of these coins. It's a beautiful coin, and it's made by a national mint. It's a New Zealand mint, so it's not well-known mint, but it is a national mint. And you can get this coin for $36 at Gainesville Coins. It is a beauty. I mean, this picture does not do it justice. When you see this coin in person, you will be blown away. Now, it does have a disadvantage. It's not like the Perth Mint series, and let me go back to the Perth Mint series. If you'll notice on this tiger and on the koala, these come in a plastic capsule. That's not really that big of a deal, but when you think about it, it really is, because if you know the grading services like PCGS and NGC and some of the other less reputable coin grading services, they grade your coins MS 60 through MS 70, 65, etc., based upon the quality of the coin. Some of these MS graded coins are going for hundreds of dollars. Now, if your coin is sealed in plastic, it's less likely that it ever smacked up against another coin. So that was a little disappointing for me when I got the Takus, because they weren't just in your ordinary tube, and of course they'd been stacked and smacked and all this stuff. And if you don't like any scratches, the Perth Mint is the way to go, because every coin, 1 ounce coin there, is in the plastic. So that's number 4. That is the New Zealand Fiji Taku, and you can get that for $36, so that is a buy right now. Number 5 is the, I'm sorry, I put number 4 on too. Number 5 is going to be the Canadian Timberwolf series, and it's $65 right now, and I put everything because it has everything going for it. It is beautiful, it is rare, it is recognizable, it's made by a mint, a common mint. I mean, it's just, this coin has everything going for it. You can see in the italics there that the reason I put it number 5 is because I don't have any of these coins. And whether it was just because I wasn't buying at the time, I don't remember what it was. But unfortunately, I don't have any of these coins. But for those of you that do, this is a spectacular coin. For one thing, it's 4 nines. Now that's something that the RCM does, and it's not something that's common with the other mints. Apparently there are some 5/9 silver coins out there. I don't know, but still, this is a top dog, pardon the pun, coin, and this really probably should be number 1. And the reason it's number 5 is because I don't have any. So anyway, those are the top 5, and that's why I recommend numismatics. Again, I'm not talking about you paying extra money. I'm talking about the people buying them from you paying extra money, because they know what it is, they know how beautiful it is, and they're willing to pay a premium to avoid the counterfeiting risk. And we're talking silver going towards $1,000. So that's what you're looking at. That's what I've done. That's what I recommend you do. We're at a falling back stage right now, which means that that's the time to stack. You want to just keep stacking, and I think these are the coins that you should be stacking, are these numismatic coins, and you should get them while you can. And we'll talk to you next time.